Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to start this week's Fan Fridays, featuring a battle from John, or actually multiple battles from John and his Trick Room team. Well, when you say Trick Room and we see the Mimikyu, we all know what that means now. The level 1 Fear Mimikyu. I love it. Like, as much as we give flack to the Pokemon Global Link because the login doesn't work and the Festival Plaza is kind of lame and the online battling isn't the greatest, they gave us the level 1 Fear Mimikyu. Just level 1 Trick, like, unless you have Taunt. If the opponent's not running Taunt, that Trick Room's happening, and Mimikyu is gonna win. If they've never seen level 1 Mimikyu, then they don't know what is gonna happen. So it gets pretty ridiculous right there. So Tapu Koko, going to drop that Electric Surge, and then Mawil's going to Intimidate. I mean, where's the Mawile been? Mawil's so good with that Intimidate. We might see it in some VGC 2018, huge damage, and then getting it under Trick Room will make it very strong. So yeah, the Intimidate, not going to affect the Tapu Koko too much, but Intimidate, very strong in doubles. Dragonite doesn't want to be intimidated. So yeah, we're looking at that. It's looking pretty good. Mawile will lead off with that Protect, so protect Mawile, stay safe. Mimikyu Trick Room, GG like that. So Tapu Koko doesn't get to damage Mawile this turn, and then we're going to see Dragonite with that Ice Beam onto the Mimikyu, but that will only break the Disguise right there until the Mimikyu gets frozen, unless it thaws out like turn 1 into the into the Trick Room. Things are going to get pretty bad right there. So Mimikyu stays frozen. I mean, it's still got Focus Sash. Looks like Tapu Koko wants to focus the Mawile. If you don't double focus the Mimikyu, bad things could happen, but it is frozen. So you just play those odds. It's only got a 1 in 5 chance. 80% chance you win. That's how you keep playing it. So the Ice Beam will still be enough to take out the Mimikyu. Focus Sash will be procced as it does, and then Mawile goes full play rough. Big damage on the Dragonite, but it is not enough to chew through the multi-scale. It just makes Dragonite too tanky, you know. Even on the super effective hit, it's not enough. So Mawile then turns around with another Protect. Mimikyu stays frozen. Tapu Koko's Electro Ball not going to be able to take it down this time, but that's going to be the trade right there. Dragonite's Ice Beam finally takes down the Mimikyu, so Mimikyu didn't get a chance to do anything. I mean, is this like a redemption story? Like, how do you come back from that? You down, Trick Room, freeze, didn't get to do anything. Oranguru is in. Tapu Koko with that Electric Ball, so that's going to take out the Mawile as well. So fortunately, Oranguru should be able to just survive anything from the Dragonite. I do find it strange that Dragonite is just camping the Ice Beam. Like, Ice Beam Electro Ball just took out half the team right there. Weird scenario, and then Oranguru gets a successful Trick Room. So that's going to change things up a bit. That's a 2v4, and the Pokemon's going to be right. Are we going to see the 4 reverse? Or like the 4-2? I won't say 4-0, but we already lost Pokemon. I mean, are we just going to see the reverse Trick Room sweep from the Rhyperior? I mean, it looks possible. Oranguru has enough damage with that Psy Shock, and then Rhyperior comes in with the Earthquake. How is Oranguru slower than the Rhyperior? Rhyperior's a rock. I mean, it works, though. That could set up some good combos. And then we have the Earthquake Telepathy. Oranguru doesn't care. Tapu Koko gets one shot. Rhyperior's bringing it back with the crazy damage. So stalled out the electricity, interestingly enough. Charizard comes in, so Charizard, that could get bad, and then Solgaleo. So, Rock Slide takes out the Charizard, Solgaleo, it's fine. Oranguru is going to Instruct. So instructing the Earthquake right there. We're going to see how much damage we can get onto the Solgaleo. And then if it's Rock Slide, then Solgaleo has a chance to flinch. Charizard dies, GG, just like that. And yeah, how much damage are we going to do to Solgaleo? It's a legendary Pokemon. It gets pretty tanky. But we are in 2-hit KO range. So, I mean, that's the power of the Rhyperior right there. And Rhyperior turns around with the Stone Edge. I honestly wouldn't take the 80% because that could have been Charizard Y. You'd eat the Solar Beam and bad things are going to happen from there. But Charizard goes down off that. Solgaleo uses the Sunsteel Strike. I mean, Rhyperior is tanky. Like, that's the amazing thing about Rhyperior. You know, it has a ton of weakness. It can't eat a special attack. But you get it under Trick Room, it can survive a super effective hit from a legendary Pokemon like that. And then, now you win. Oranguru's instructing the Stone Edge. I guess just throw out the extra damage. I don't know why it's Stone Edge. Because, like, if it's a flying Pokemon, it eats a Rock Slide and doubles from a Rhyperior, and it's not going to have a good day. So Rhyperior comes in with that Earthquake, and that's going to be the game. So bringing it back right there with the Rhyperior. I will say there was like a lot of super effectiveness going on, but man, I could talk about it. I used to run that bad boy back in 4th, 5th generation. Glad to see it come back for 7th. I mean, with all the Trick Room teams, you know, Oranguru, one of the best Trick Room Pokemon ever. Mimikyu, high amount of Trick Room usage. Whatever people use for that Marowak. Because like Trick Room has had like a lot of I wouldn't say a comeback, but it's just been really consistent in 7th generation. Yet people aren't bringing that Rhyperior, even though it has the stats of just a god tier Trick Room Pokemon. Now, the funniest part about this is I'm just like, oh man, the Rhyperior, 7th generation Rhyperior is so good. We get Trick Room Rhyperior is so good. Trick Room's so good. Where's the Rhyperior? But I mean, the last battle actually went really bad because we had like the freeze hacks into the Dragonite, and Mimikyu didn't even get the Trick Room off. So that means we didn't even have a chance to see Instructed Mega Mawile under Trick Room. That was free. That was what happens in that battle. I'm pretty sure that if you have like 2 Mawile, like that's like having 2 Mawiles on the field. So 2 Mega Mawiles under Trick Room, I'm pretty sure the opponent's DS just turns off at that point because you win. The game is yours. Let's see how this one plays out though. So that's going to be Mawile coming in with that Mega Evolution, as we've seen. And again, it's like no taunt. Mimikyu's going to do its thing. Mawile protects. I think that's pretty safe because that looks like a Fire Sylvalia on the opponent's side, so it wants to do some hate. The Necrozma comes in with that Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw, I mean, it doesn't really matter like what happens to the Mimikyu. That level 1's so strange. Like, yeah, you can throw the weakest hit, throw any hit. It's not going to be able to do much about that. And there's the multi-attack from the Sylvalia, so that's going to be protected by Mawile. Mimikyu gets its Trick Room off, and you just, if you don't have a way of stopping it, you don't get to stop it. And also, I feel like Necrozma reflected some of the Trick Room. Like, there was like this weird graphic thing going on with the Necrozma right there. So yeah, you pain split the Sylvalia. Mawile sitting on that crunch, and I think Sylvalia can, I think Sylvalia can survive that. Because, crunch is less, actually no, because like since it's fire, it's going to be resisting everything. So I mean, that was the most damage. Not a lot of damage though. So yeah, that's going to be Mimikyu holding on to Focus Sash. And now what happens? Like, Mawile comes in, crunches Necrozma, Necrozma's done. Mimikyu comes in with that Pain Split or Destiny Bond, that's what I was going to say, Destiny Bond. So, Incineroar hits Mimikyu, maybe? Mawile's going to play rough. Okay, so yeah, play rough the Incineroar. I mean, there's a lot of things that you get to consider right there, because Incineroar could also just want to go for the Mawile instead of finishing off Mimikyu, which it does. That means Necrozma's move has to hit Mimikyu, so there's pretty much like a choice right there. Are you going to use Mawile to take out the Necrozma, and then hope that the Incineroar hit the Mimikyu to try to finish it off? But also, there's the Fire-Steel matchup that could happen. All kinds of things that could break down. But in any case, that's it. So we get the clean field right there. Oranguru still in with the Rhyperior, so that's really good to have. And it's like, it's just a 2v2. But the 2v2 is much more in the favor of the person that has the Trick Room on their field, especially against the Greninja. So Greninja's going to use that Water Shuriken. Never mind. We got Water Shuriken, just interesting at this point because it was one of those moves that you just had to accept is never going to happen. Doesn't happen on the Greninja. It got a buff, so it's a bit more usable. And then people like having the priority on it, but then you're removing the move slots from it that makes Greninja so good, and then you can hit twice and still not even KO Rhyperior. And then Oranguru instructs the Incineroar? Okay, I actually had to go back. Like, as I was recording, I was like, wait a second, none of this adds up. Why is the Incineroar using the Fire Blast right there? And what happened to the turn order? And what's going on? And Rhyperior gets the Earthquake. So yeah, I just had to redo that. Like, wait. Okay, so Incineroar, or the Oranguru outsped, used the Instruct instead of attacking, but I mean, I guess when it only has Psyshock, so Psyshock, Trick Room, Protect, Instruct, and then the double Dark typing just like completely wrecked the Oranguru, or yeah, the Oranguru right there. So an Earthquake comes in, and now it's pretty much over regardless. Oranguru gets to successfully Instruct on the Rhyperior, and that's gonna be enough to take down the Greninja. Okay, so that ends the battle, and that's gonna be some pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, that Rhyperior, it's cool. It's got some fun stuff under. Yeah, the Oranguru. Wow, I never thought in the doubles I'd see like this double psychic. I mean, the double dark, double like, immune the psychic for shenanigans like that. Just happens. Wow. Okay, so we have one more battle to show for Fan Fridays. I will say on this next battle, things are going to be a bit interesting, a bit different, but also back to the original idea of Fan Fridays. Back when Fan Fridays started, it was also like a very high battle critique. The thing is that my fans started getting too good at Pokemon, so when it slowly went from like battle critiquing to holy crap, this is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. We need to show this off on Fan Fridays because like this is an amazing sweep or an amazing strategy. And then Fan Fridays just kind of evolved into people outdoing each other. But on this next battle, I will admit, it is not the best Pokemon battle on both sides. And also back in like the mid days of Fan Fridays, it was also about like showing off really cool battles, but then a lot of the opponents weren't really that great. Now in this one, the opponent doesn't seem that great, but also it seems like there's a lot of misplays on both sides. And I'm not trying to like insult John here or anything, but it will have some of that more critique heavy side. I was actually contemplating if I was going to add it into Fan Fridays or not, but I think it kind of like goes back to the original idea of Fan Fridays. Like, yeah, with Pokemon like X, Y, and Omega Green, Alpha Sapphire, and Pokemon Sun and Moon, there was just like this explosion of skill in Pokemon because people started really caring about competitive Pokemon around mid to late X and Y. And then, like, after Omega Green Alpha Sapphire, there was just 2 years of people just honing their skills for the 7th generation Pokemon game. So there are still, like, a lot of players that do find themselves in some weird situations. I have the same experience. So I think that the opponent could have won it many times, but if John played better, then maybe he could have just, like, kept it to where that wouldn't have been an issue. So we'll just kind of see how that battle goes, and, yeah. Now, the question is, are we also going to see Mawile just, like, wreck house? It's like, oh, man, I want to keep seeing the Rhyperior. The Rhyperior is so good. It's like, Mawile, boom, 4-0. Maybe Mimikyu gets a Destiny Bond pickup, Mawile takes 3, that could happen. Pain Spell on Mimikyu, that's always massive. Like, that's how you soften something up to just get wrecked. Whimsicott's annoying. Whimsicott, that could be a taunt shutdown onto Mimikyu, but then Mawile could get some freeness right there. I mean, Mawile shouldn't be worried. Like, I wouldn't protect Mawile, I would just take out the Weavile. And if Weavile's Focus Sash, that's why you have Mimikyu there for the Shadow Sneak. So, I mean, Mimikyu is so good on that support cleanup. So we'll go for the Mega Mawile, alright. What is the Whimsicott going to do? Because, like, if Whimsicott's going for Tailwind, why are you Tailwinding when you already have 2 of the fastest Pokemon in the game on your field? Level 1 Mimikyu's obvious right there. Mawile protects. Wouldn't do that, because, again, you can just Iron Head the... Actually, if the, okay, maybe the Fake Out, I guess. See, I'd just be too worried about the, taunts from the Whimsicott. And also Mimikyu, if it had Protect, that's when you Protect on the Mimikyu. Wow, this Mimikyu can just never get the Trick Room. That's upsetting. So let's say you Protect on the Mimikyu, even though I think it's Destiny Bond, Pain Split, Trick Room, Shadow Sneak. Like, that's a solid 4 moves right there. And then Whimsicott gets behind the sub. I would just try to break things as soon as possible. And, like, if you went Taunt and then the Weavile tries to hit the Mimikyu, you could really shut out that Mimikyu quick. So I was just kind of worried about those things breaking down if you really wanted to stop that Trick Room. And then maybe use Mawile to get a free little hit right there. So Whimsicott, now it's going for that Leech Seed. So Subseed Whimsicott already just taking off right now. And there's really nothing you can do about it. So Seismitoad with the Drain Punch. Mawile's tanky. Like, Mawile when it Mega Evolves just gets ridiculous stats. It mostly just like, oh, I'm gonna get the double attack off the huge power, and then everything else just gets poured into tankiness. So yeah, it works out pretty well. Mimikyu does get a successful Trick Room, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when you're dealing with Prankster like that. The Seismitoad, I guess it's not gonna be slower than the Mawile, but not really much happened. I mean, it's like, yeah, you break the sub, so Whimsicott doesn't get 100 hit points back, or like 100% hit points back. Seismitoad's still kind of hard to break through, especially if it's Drain Punching, just for little bits of healing. So we're gonna see how Mimikyu can pull this one out. So actually withdrawing Whimsicott, going into Arbok. That's strange. Strange team from the opponent for sure. Mimikyu's going Pain Split the Seismitoad. So that's going to chunk Seismitoad pretty substantially. You're pretty much losing half your health when that happens. And then the Iron Head onto the Arbok. Woo! The damage from the Mawile is just ridiculous. And Seismitoad has Hydro Pump. So Hydro Pump, that's going to connect on the Mimikyu. Mimikyu, the skies doesn't get broken. That's right, it was a Stun Spore. So because of that, Mimikyu still is able to Pain Split for a while. It's able to do whatever it wants. Weavile comes in. And it's like, technically the Leech Seed is still up, so that could maybe benefit the Weavile, but I just see it taking too much damage. Weavile comes in, got that Fake Out refresh, so goes for another Fake Out. Is Seismitoad going to use the Earthquake? Like, that's what, but then it's hurting its ally too much. And there's a Hydro Pump, so yeah, just staying on that Hydro Pump. For some reason, taking out the Mimikyu instead of the Mawile. 2 Hydro Pumps on Mawile would be a little better, but I mean, Mimikyu just isn't going to go away. So it's on 1 hit points right now. Got paralyzed, unfortunately. That's going to be the Leech Seed. So yeah, Mawile could have been soft enough to take out. Trick Room's up, though, so that's bad. Like, Mimikyu's going to... Oh, yep, this is it. Like, the opponent just... I think he tunneled him. I don't know what happened right there. So Mawile's Iron Head on the Trick Room. That's going to be free KO on the Mawile. Happens. And then we're just going to see the Seismitoad take itself out. Then we go into the Whimsicott. Whimsicott wouldn't have the sub back up. And then that's Iron Head, and that's game. Turns to Drain Punch on the Mawile. I don't know where that Earthquake is. Like, hello? Need that Earthquake. Especially if you understand the Weavile is going to go down. You might as well try to hit that Super and get the Mawile out of here. So Shell Bell Drain Punch. Interesting on the Seismitoad. Kind of works. Kind of doesn't. Whimsicott's going to throw up that Substitute, though. And then Mimikyu's going to use Pain Split. So back up to full health. Seismitoad take you a little bit right there. Mawile with the Iron Head. Iron Head keeping Whimsicott from like keeping that sub up, but the Leech Seed is still there. So I don't know what Whimsicott can really accomplish. And with the level 1 Pokemon on the field, Whimsicott's not going to get the most amazing healing. So I would have tried to take out the Seismitoad off of that. And then with just a solo Leech Seed Leaf Whimsicott against 2 Pokemon, especially Rhyperior and potential Trick Room. Also bring in Oranguru. Instruct Oranguru. Like these are just some weird battles. Because yeah, when you break it down, like, okay. Mimikyu goes down, you know, Trick Room, Destiny Bond, that's perfect. Mimikyu's on the field for 2 turns, takes 1. But then you have Oranguru coming in and instructing a Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile hitting twice in a turn, that's like having 2 Mega Mawiles on the field. That's how you get a full sweep, just like that. So Oranguru comes in, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's enough to take down the Whimsicott pretty easily as well. Mawile will go for that Protect. And from that, we're going to see Whimsicott get behind a Substitute. Good. Just stalling it out. And Seismitoad with the Drain Punch. So Drain Punch, not going to do a lot to the Oranguru. The Seismitoad just not working out, unfortunately. Just doesn't have tons of damage. And my thoughts about Shell Bell, I've already done a video. It's like Shell Bell's like just one of the worst items ever. Unless you're one-shotting Pokemon, Leftovers is literally better healing. It's crazy to think about like that. What if Shell Bell was buffed to a 4th? Then that seems like it'd be too strong, though. So, numbers, math, Whimsicott just feeding off that Mawile. It's getting a nice big old feast off those Leech Seeds. Trick Room got reset though, and this is where the numbers come in. Because Whimsicott's gonna Leech Seed. Alright, so Mad Healing. Is Oranguru slower than, like, if Oranguru is slower than everything? Oh no, Mawile's slower, alright. It's like the Rhyperior being faster is what threw me off, or yeah, faster before the Trick Room is what threw me off. Because then that hurts the Instruct. Unless you've already done the item, in which case it's better. Oranguru, though, going to taunt. So yeah, like the speed is lined up just right for this team, which is kind of crazy to think about. And then Seismitoad comes in with another Hydro Pump, hits Oranguru pretty hard, but Oranguru is just a very tanky Pokemon. Shell Bell comes in. Whimsicott. I mean, Whimsicott's going to full, but after that, you know, the Iron Head. Actually, no, you don't get the Iron Head. Mawile's going to get taken out. And then Oranguru can't instruct the Rhyperior. This is what I mean. Like, this is like this weird back and forth that we get. I'm guessing you're just Earthquake. Like, you know, you just gotta get Seismitoad out of here, especially because it can threaten the 4-time super effective hit. And now Oranguru is kind of looking like it's in trouble. See, like, that's the thing. You can't focus on the Whimsicott, because now Whimsicott's at full health anyways. Oranguru is going to use Psyshock, so Psyshock on the Seismitoad. Not enough to KO. Rhyperior gets Smart Strike? Not enough to take out Whimsicott, though. Seismitoad goes for the Drain Punch onto the Rhyperior. No, that was a terrible idea. Why would he do that? Why would he just... I think that could have been a win. But also, why Smart... Like, where's the Earthquake? Just take everything... What is this battle? Whimsicott, though, there's a Giga Drain. Ooh. Yeah, the Hydro Pump definitely would have been enough. Or even if the Hydro Pump wasn't enough, that Giga Drain, though, Whimsicott, knowing how to play, gets the full health off of that. Gets all this extra healing. There's the Leftovers. That's going to be the Leech Seed off the Oranguru. Back up to full. Smart Strike's not enough. I mean, Rhyperior, yo, it's gotten so much... Got a nice little buff in the 7th generation as well with that Smart Strike. But Oranguru is going to instruct the Smart Strike. I mean, Smart Strike Earthquake. It can do it. It will work. You can make it happen. So Smart Strike on Whimsicott hits hard. Super effective right there. Rhyperior actually doubling the Smart Strike onto the Whimsicott right there. Alright. Well, I mean, I don't know if the Earthquake would be enough to take out Seismitoad then, because it can be bulky. And then the split damage. So, Hydro Pump onto the Oranguru. That's going to be enough to take down Oranguru. And because I feel like, yeah, if he hit the Rhyperior instead, Rhyperior dies. Oranguru doesn't have enough damage on the Psyshock, and I think the Seismitoad could have won it. So yeah, what I will say, it's a very ambitious team, because we have like 2 incredibly powerful, incredibly good Trick Room Pokemon that I could talk about all day, because we just don't see them anymore. You know, Mega Mawile, you see it all the time. I know it wasn't VGC legal, but still, like, what about outside of VGC? You don't even see it in the single battles that often. when it comes into doubles, it seems like it'd be doing really well because there's all those Tapus buzzing around. So we see the Mega Mawile can tank a hit from Tapu Koko, dish out a KO back. That's a free kill onto a Tapu Lele as well. And then when we get Trick Room under it, single Trick Room, double Trick Room, Mawile, it just has too much. Like, you can't switch in anything into the Mawile. Even like I guess maybe the Arcanine. Maybe the Arcanine's like the only thing you could really switch into Mawile to, because it's a fire type Pokemon that brings the Intimidate. So that's kind of, so I'd be able to like do something. But outside of that, it's like, yeah, you just wreck whatever's there, and even on a switch, you still do uncomfortable amounts of damage. What I was saying about the ambition of this team is it's double Trick Room as well. We have the Mimikyu. Mimikyu should be very reliable unless it gets just status hacks or something, or taunt. In which case, I wonder if it's taunt, then do you switch into the Oranguru if it's Mental Herb, and then try to reset that up because maybe they're trying to ignore the level 1 Mimikyu. I don't know. So yeah, I guess worst case scenario, sacrifice the Mimikyu, you still have Trick Room under the Oranguru. Mawile is always a threat. Like, that's the interesting thing about these off double threat compositions, because you get into the Oranguru, and Oranguru, any Trick Room Pokemon's a threat. Automatically 100% a threat. But I mean, Mawile, it can fight outside of Trick Room, so it's an existing threat. And if you focus too much on the Trick Room Pokemon, then Mawile just one-shots you all day long. Focus too much on the Mawile, it could protect, or it survives, Trick Room happens, and then now you have the Trick Room under Mawile. Even Mawile dies, but Trick Room is successful, going into the Rhyperior, and then Rhyperior. So we have two incredibly powerful Trick Room attackers under the Trick Room of the Mimikyu and the Oranguru. Don't really know. Like, I'm wondering, is it maybe Calm Mind on the Oranguru, not Protect or something? It's like Calm Mind, Side Shock for that extra damage. So I feel like once you get through the Mawile and the Rhyperior, there could be some damage issues. But at the same time, the Mimikyu, it supports really well. And unless you just get in some weird situations, everything kind of plays out. But some of these battles did feel a little weird. So I think that's it, guys. That's my breakdown. I love it. Want to see more of it? I don't know where these Pokemon went. Hopefully, we maybe see a little flash of this for VGC 2018. It's kind of what I have to say. So, guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.